his connection to Shriners, Freemasonry, as well as connection to being very supportive of the potion that's going around out there. But remember, sacrifice is what it's all about. Here is a clip from the movie The Believers. You guys always ask me what this is from. I use this when I show these sacrifice, these videos where there could be a sacrifice involved, because this is what the occult is all about. People involved in it are asked to make sacrifices. And when you're in it, at some point in time, you're going to become the sacrifice. That's how it works. You don't just pass and everybody praises you. You give yourself up at a certain point in time. And again, I'm not saying that's what has happened here, but take a look.
Of course you're uncertain, Cal. Naturally, so was I, till I met him. But now imagine, if you can, a life without uncertainty, freedom from doubt, the ability to choose, single-mindedness.
One life from each of us, Cal, is all he asks. And he rewards our devotion 1,000-fold.
Personal desires, oh yes, of course, anything. That's part of it.
It's only the beginning.
There was a time, Cal, when man was at one with the gods before the fall. Now we're at one again. And their benediction is power. It's a power you can't imagine. Power to create a world of our choosing. Power to destroy those who oppose us.
We want you to join us.
Consecrate this ground with this Father's humble offering. We seek the strength and wisdom of our benefactors.
We call upon the ancient gods to renew our strength and guide your hand to strike down the enemies of our faith and of this great nation.
We welcome our brother Cal, reborn into your grace.
Ayawaladama,
the power which is our birthright,
Herabanya,
the glory which is our destiny,
Anjuku Tasmala,
our enemies consumed by winds of fire,
O Pangai Mulula Sonina,
our strength reborn in sacrifice.
Identi Sonina, Monsaya Denti Sonina.
Now, let's start with this with Bob Saget, okay? There's a lot of creepy stuff about Bob Saget out there that he said and done in his stand-up. I won't even delve into that. But here's a post he made recently on his Instagram account. You can see the hat. That's a Shriners hat that he's wearing. And here is what Bob wrote directly next to the photo. He says, okay, why am I wearing a fez? Well, for the first time ever since my dad left us for greater pastures, I went through some of his stuff and found some of his treasured accomplishments. He was a very proud Shriner and 32nd degree Freemason. For those that know, the Shriners are a society of people who do a lot of philanthropy and philanthropic work, and often pay for surgeries for people that don't have insurance and can't afford medical care. And I'll get into that in a minute, because that is the great ruse of Freemasonry and the Shriners. That's how they get away with being in our towns and being in our society. They pretend and they play off the emotions of people, that they're there to help children and they're there to help people in need. That is not the case. That is how they hide their satanic Luciferian worship, by using things like that. People go, hey, leave these people be. They do more for society than you do. It is a part of it. It is in the teachings that they have. I've covered this before with not just secret societies like Freemasons with Skull and Bones and things like that. They are taught to always be philanthropists. This goes from the Rockefellers all the way down the list of these people. So he says, for kids and others who've needed organs, major, super expensive surgeries, and they've saved many lives, I just wonder if you have to wear this fez to do all that. So he uses the humor there to deflect. By the way, it is in mint condition. That was my dad, an incredibly kind, smart, and caring man. I wonder if he ever wore this hat. I guarantee you he wore it. I guarantee you he wore it. Because, to be a Shriner, I mean, this is part of the game here. And, it shouldn't surprise anyone because all of these actors and celebrities, like I pointed out, are all members of secret societies at different levels. There's a lot of different secret societies, okay? But they all teach the same core thing that Freemasonry teaches. That's why I cover Freemasonry. It might be the bottom of the barrel as far as secret societies go, but they all teach and go through the same rituals. Okay, there's other ones that might be deeper into Luciferian worship, more black magic and things like that. But I've shown you the Bibles and the things that they use in Freemasonry, which really are covers for teaching Egyptian worship and the worshiping of the Egyptian gods, and of course, Luciferian worship. And like he says here, admits his father was a 32nd degree Freemason. One thing to note about that is when Freemasons pass, especially Freemasons of high degrees, they come, they show up. The brothers and whoever is a part of, the Shriners group that he's a part of, they show up at this person's home when they pass, and they take all of their stuff that is affiliated with Masonry or Shriners. They take their books, their teachings. That's how this stuff stays kept secret. That's what they do. They show up there. They'll see them at the funeral. They're not there because they're paying their respects. They're there to accumulate and grab the stuff that shows the affiliation, the allegiance. So kind of strange that he still had his Shriner hat. Maybe he just shoved it in a box somewhere and they weren't able to find it, or maybe Bob had it all along. But Bob pretending like, hey, it was just a very proud Shriner and Freemason, and he's not, and he's famous, is extremely hard to believe. Now, does that mean there's anything to do with this being a ritual? Of course not. Do 65-year-olds just pass? Yes, they do. But keep in mind, he was in perfect health, and the night before he did a he did a very long stand-up set in Florida, about 2 hours, which is very long for stand-up comedians to do. If you ever seen any of these stand-up shows, on TV or whatever, or even gone to a comedy club, a set is not usually 2 hours long. That is very long. So it seemed like he was in good health to be able to do a 2-hour set. Now, one of the other things about Bob here is Bob is big on the magic potion. Now, I'm going to read you some of his quotes here because I don't know if I can show them on the screen. He said he went to the dumbest pharmacist yesterday and asked for his booster, and he gave him a child's seat. I was mad until I sat at the table and was a foot taller. Okay, so he's talking about how he got his boost, but that's, someone might read that and say, well, that's not really, admitting to taking it. Well, he openly admits it. He says, please, people, I don't want to preach, but please get your Visine today. Sorry, autocorrect. I mean, magic potion. Help save eyes. Sorry, I mean this stupid autocorrect. I mean save lives. And it says using humor and stuff, and then he has people on his podcast where he says, really love today's new episode, with a doctor he had out talking so knowledgeably about the magic potion hesitancy and all of the real facts about the magic potion. So he's obviously, just like all these celebrities, conveniently are all pushing this on everyone. All of them are. None of them are like sitting back going, hey, do what you want to do. I'll worry about myself. All of them come out. They criticize those who don't take it, and they push it on people. And then there's always a connection to Freemasonry and the secret societies, and nobody says boo, right? These people just, they care so much about your health, yet places like California are talking about canceling surgeries and organs, all types of organ transplants for people who don't have the potion, and other countries as well, as if it's more dangerous to get this common cough and sore throat than to, need emergency surgery and pass from that. I mean, it's insanity, right? Then you also have other stuff with Bob. You have Bob with Bill Nye saying that Bill Nye has to be a distant relative because these people are all related to one another, right? You have Bob doing the shh with his finger over his mouth, which is another secret society symbol. And then you have Bob even reading a book, The Devil May Dance by Jake Tapper. Now, why is this of relevance? Well, this is Jake Tapper's book about Hollywood, the history of Hollywood, which of course has everything to do with the devil. But Jake Tapper, I've exposed before, not just for being a talking head zombie on CNN, but Jake Tapper, when all this stuff blew up with Comet, Ping Pong, and Pizzagate, I did a couple of videos about Jake Tapper because I found articles where Jake Tapper was interviewed and talked about his favorite places to go, and his favorite restaurant in the whole world happened to be Comet Ping Pong. Right? And if you go look at the menu over there, you could tell it's a front for something else because the pizza looks like it came right out of a frozen section of a grocery store. I mean, you're probably better off with Celeste pizza than you are with the garbage. And I'm not saying that because of everything connected to it in James Alefontes. I mean, It doesn't take an expert to look at pizza and know what gross pizza is. But of course, you have Guy Fieri, you have Jake Tapper, you have all these celebrities who push that place. And of course, Barack Obama letting them in the White House, letting James Ifontis in, which is another story for another day. If you're not familiar with that entire thing, that was really one of the things that I broke here on my channel back in 2016. Of course, all that was taken down. They created a lot of psyops around it to deflect from it, and those videos, of course, have been removed from here, but are available on my website. So this is just something I thought was interesting with Bob. Obviously, they haven't released the cause or anything yet, but look, we already know he's potioned, so that's one thing you can think of, and we already know he's a Freemason. So we know that with these people, their time comes when they're called. That's how it works. And I hate to even say Freemason because they're in the occult. That's what they're in. Right? And he's wearing the fez. He's showing you he's wearing the fez. He admits his father's 32-degree Freemason and a Shriner. And again, like I said before, don't fall for this stuff. These guys are in your local town. They show up at parades asking for donations. They go to hospitals. What do you think they're so fascinated with going to the children's hospitals for? Huh? Because who would be suspicious of, oh, they go and they donate money and help out the children's house? Oh, yeah? So they wouldn't be suspicious that anything might be going on there with their, right? I can't say more than that, but let's be realistic, okay? Let's be realistic. So for Bob to find this, to post a picture with him with the hat on, you know, there's also certain rules with Freemasonry and secret societies that you can't impersonate a Freemason. It's like, I don't even know if it's a real crime. I remember I did a video on it many years ago because somebody pretended to be a Mason to cops, and it was somehow they got arrested or something like that. But, you know, Bob, if Bob wasn't a part of it, I don't think they'd be letting Bob wear the hat and, you know, put it on his Instagram account, because that's how they operate. They like to be hush-hush. They don't like this stuff, you know, really being out there. But, you know, Bob admits to his father being a 32nd degree Mason, which probably means he's really a 33rd degree Mason, or at the very least an honorary 33rd degree Mason. And like I said earlier, you got the magic potion connection and everything else. So Bob Saget, if other stuff comes out, like with some of the singers that came out where, you know, the story was like they put something around their neck and, you know, did something to themselves, we'll see if that's the narrative that they take. But 65 years old, just not waking up, it'll be interesting how, because what they do is they'll come out with, I guarantee you they'll come out with stories and say it had nothing to do with the potion. Because that's what they do when they start, like they do listen to channels like mine. Doesn't mean that I'm important or anything like that, but they, you know, you'll see some of these articles out there and you're like, why are they even bringing attention to it? Because they're stupid. And they bring attention to these things to deflect, but in reality, they're bringing more attention to something that only gets 20 to 30,000 views from me or another truther out there or many other truthers out there, and they deflect off of it, like Hank Aaron and like many of these other celebrities who were supporting this and then just magically went away. They had the same narrative with Betty White. The stories came out. Betty White didn't pass because of that. This is why. Oh, okay. Well, this is somebody who was very active in trying to push this on people, and somebody who obviously is very well connected to the secret societies, like all of them are. So I just wanted to do that and cover it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I know a lot of people said it comes in threes. We did have another, you know, quick what do you call it? Case of the threes, or whatever you want to call it, with the passing. Sinead O'Connor's son passed, and then we had Sidney, I think his last name is Portier, who passed away as well at 94, all happening within within 24 hours of each other, along with Bob Saget. So this is how it all works. It always happens in threes. But you let me know what you think. Reminder,